Hello, everyone. My name is Mackenzie Fowler, and I'm so excited to tell you about what we've been working on at Drop Labs. We had a water justice program in Flint, Michigan, and saw through that there was no way for residents to know if their drinking water was safe. But the people of Flint aren't alone, with nearly 1/3 of US utilities violating the Safe Drinking Water Act and emerging contaminants, climate change, and aging infrastructure. It's becoming harder than ever to know if your water is safe to drink. This has led to a huge erosion in public trust. People aren't drinking their tap water, and it's affecting public health. They're resorting to options like single-use plastics, which unnecessarily pollute the environment, or they're opting for unhealthy alternatives like sugary beverages. This is impacting their children's health and educational outcomes. But despite all of these problems, people really have no way of knowing if their water is safe to drink in a reliable and real-time way. Sure, you can send your water off to be tested by a third-party lab, but this only captures a snapshot of your water quality, which can change dramatically over time. And even if you have a whole home filtration system, without knowing what's in your water, you don't know if you're choosing the best filters or if you're even maintaining or changing them out properly. As we were looking into these issues, we realized there were important IoT innovations in fields like home energy and security, but nothing for water. So we got to work, and at UCLA, through our research, we found that through a combination of low-cost water quality sensors and the power of advanced data analytics like machine learning, we could take water quality data and turn it into actionable insights for consumers. Our product is an under-the-sink water monitoring system for the home. It will classify your water and tell you if it's safe or not to drink, and if it's not, it'll tell you exactly what you can do about it. We can recommend custom filters and maintenance schedules, or offer you preventative steps like flushing your system or boiling your tap water before use. Our device fits into the ecosystem of smart home products. There's nearly 70 million people in 2024 who are already using smart home products, and we expect that we can capture nearly 40 million of those, with our target demographic being median income households with children who are concerned about the safety of their drinking water. Our revenue model will follow a hardware sale and subscription model that's competitively priced with other smart home devices on the market. So far, we've been able to validate and test our system through charitable grants with organizations like the Robert Wood Johnson Foundation, and are currently under evaluation for a partnership with the Office of Naval Research. We expect that some of our early adopters will be customers like LADWP and large water distribution systems. The team bringing this to life has a deep network in water and equity, and we have a track record of over $200 million in exits in water technology companies. Today, we're seeking $2.2 million in seed funding to build and validate our consumer MVP. So far, we've entirely funded Drop through grants, and we're looking to prepare for our consumer launch. Thank you, and I'd like to open it up for questions.
What's your bill of material? What's your COGS on the sensor?
Yeah, so we're working on securing an MOU with a low-cost sensor manufacturer in Israel, and we expect that we can get the price per unit to $50.
So if you can get it that cheap, why not just do a Kickstarter instead of raising venture money?
Sorry, what's that?
Why not just do a Kickstarter instead of raising venture money?
I think with venture capital, that will just prepare us to do a lot of the engineering faster and go to market faster, so we can build out our molds and prepare for the consumer launch more quickly with the power of venture capital.
You mentioned, I think at the get-go, about kind of water quality, kind of equalization, right? A lot of the people that suffer from kind of bad water are in places that they can't really afford to effectively pay what you're asking them to pay. Are you thinking about kind of working with, let's just call it grants or nonprofit organizations, or even the DWP that has programs to kind of help the disadvantaged, right, to be able to provide better access kind of for this?
Yeah, so I have an appendix basically with our solution roadmap. So there is definitely an equity and justice side to this, which as far as like venture capital goes, we'd be more focused on the consumer side. But for the justice and equity, we partner with water distribution programs, or like you said, large utilities like LADWP, who we've discussed this technology with them, and they're interested in using it as like a diagnostic tool for issues along their service lines. So there is that element, and they're early customers for us, as well as the data we collect with them will help us to build out and validate our ML and ML models.
Is this an issue that is a one-time thing? You mentioned that there is a subscription piece of this. Is water quality changing every month, every few months, or is this something that you kind of check one time and then can trust after you make the adjustments?
So oftentimes it'll change seasonally. Your distribution system or like your municipality has different sources that they draw from. So Flint, Michigan is a great example of that. They drew from a different water source and it changed the water chemistry completely. So it's kind of an ongoing thing seasonally that changes over time.
What sorts of things do you detect?
Yeah, so we expect that through our machine learning algorithms, we'll be able to predict risk factors for contaminants like trace heavy metals, as well as microbiological risk and disinfection byproducts. So it's around 8 of the 10 that people are most concerned about in their drinking water.
Is hard water something that you detect as well?
Sorry, what's that?
Hard water, like a hard salty
Yeah,
water?
like scale and alkalinity and dissolved solids. Yeah, so we also directly measure some of the most important water quality indicators. So that's going to be electrical conductivity, dissolved oxygen, pH, oxidation
But
reduction
normally
potential.
that's drinkable water. You can actually drink that water without negative effects. You can normally drink that water as well. But what do you tell people about it?
So part of the analysis is also paired with filtration systems. So it'll tell you if your filter is working and when you need to replace it. That's kind of an additional insight that we offer aside from just your water quality, which we're giving you like an overall kind of holistic view of your water quality.
You mentioned that your target customer is single-family homes, although you're working with a variety of different customer types. I'm curious, why not go for a commercial application, for example, apartment buildings or something like the manufacturing space, agriculture, food products, things like that?
Yeah, so we have considered other customers, like I think you mentioned, like landlords would be potentially interested as opposed to the consumer at an individual level. And we're still in the customer discovery process for that. But the great thing is like the underlying technology doesn't really change. It's just the form factor and the reporting. So whether it's through a municipality or an individual consumer, we can still tell them valuable information.
What's your proposed price for when you do get to market?
Yeah, so the hardware would be $150 and then a monthly subscription cost of $20. And this is just market research we've done that's competitively priced with kind of like Ring or Nest, another smart home product.
So to dig into your market research, have you I guess questioned the appetite for an additional subscription?
Yeah, so we've done some surveys in our market research, and the information that we've gotten back is that the general interest in the subscription model doesn't really change with price. So we increased the increment of price and still got the same response rates of who would be like interested in maintaining that subscription.
Why do they need a subscription?
Just for it's kind of the data management side of it and the cost to scale. So offering them those insights and maintaining that.
Have you thought about what else you could do with that data set?
Yeah. So we really see this as big picture, a public health innovation. So with a privately owned data set on water quality, we can overlay that with other health outcome data sets like air quality, crime rates, other types of pollution, and understand the mechanisms for why like certain areas face the issues that they do. We don't know exactly who this interested stakeholders would be for that data, but we know that there's a lot of power for public health.
What patents have you guys filed? What kind of IP do you have?
So we recently filed our PCT patent in March of this year, which covers, the claims cover the combination of the sensors, the analytics, and the reporting, as well as the functionality of viewing the water pre and post treatment and comparing the two. So that's kind of what our claims cover, and we applied for that in March.
Does your sensor actually degrade over time, or do you have to replace it? And how often, do you have to do that?
So with calibration and sensor drift, that's an issue that any really sensor technology is going to face. But the solution we have for that is that the elements in the sensor are hot swappable. So the consumer, after, say, we determine 2 years, your sensor starts to drift or goes out of calibration, we just send you a new one and you pop out your old one, pop it back in.
I would use that as the answer to the subscription question. Just pro tip.
Mm-hmm.
In the future, use that as the answer when people ask about subscriptions.
Oh, yeah, that's good. Thank you.
Yeah.
Any other questions?
Given the implications, who would your dream investor be?
I think dream investor, we've talked with some of the early team members at Nest. Harry Tannenbaum, he's been kind of a mentor, and I think knowing his insights would be a kind of a dream investor, having him on the team.
All right. If there's no further questions, thank you so much.
Thank you.